Ladies and gentlemen, are we not on yet? Yeah, it's on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kiwanis today. As you know, I am not Clark Goodman. I'm missing him today. He's not feeling well, apparently ate some bad shrimp or something. So thank you all for coming. Today, our invocation will be done by Wendy Mellentine. The song leader will be Judy Clark. Pledge of Allegiance, Joyce Montgomery. And Joe Gaither will introduce our guests. So, Wendy.
Thanks, Ben. No matter where we are or what we're going through, God's presence and connection to us is constant. And it's a reminder that we can channel love to one another in the here and now. So please pray with me. Lord, take my life and let me be your presence in our world. Let my hands be your hands to lift up and support. Let my voice be your voice to comfort and encourage. Let my eyes be your eyes, radiating hope and love. Let my welcoming smile draw others to you. Let my whole being delight in everything you have made. Amen.
Judy.
Mike's got a video.
Mike's.
Folks zooming in TV land that we're going to display the video in the room. You will not be able
There'll be days when things seem bad. Life may seem unfair. Keep your cool, do not get mad. Breathe and don't despair. Just say, I'll bounce back. Bounce, 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 bouncing back. Things won't always go to plan. Life won't always be perfect. Just keep on going, do the best that you can. Keep things in perspective and say, I'll bounce back. Bounce, 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 bouncing back. Take time out, time to reset, talk it through, don't get upset. You can't always win, won't always feel your best, friends might be mean. You may not pass a test, take 3 deep breaths, calm things down. Yes, it may not be easy, but it's not a catastrophe. Bounce back. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and bounce back. Please join me in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joe Gaither is going to be introducing our guests today. Joe, if you would come forward. you, Joe.
Good afternoon, all the Kiwanians. Good afternoon. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce the guest on today. And in the absence of President Clark, our guests today are Mr. Bob Eisminger from the Roanoke City Schools, and his sponsor is Lloyd Enoch. Would ask him to stand if you would. Thank you, sir. Miss Marnie Mills, Community Catholic Charities, and her sponsor is Miss Melody, Miss Mellington. Yes, yeah, right here. And Miss Jackie Smith with Community Youth Program, and her sponsor is Mr. David Lemon, if they would stand. Thank you so much, and we welcome you today on the behalf of the Kiwanis with peace and a big Kiwanian welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here.
One of the great things we get to do is, as Kiwanians, is give money away. And today, Bob Haberman has the opportunity to give some money away to the Community Youth Program. Jackie Smith, if you would come forward, and I caught her with a mouthful of. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. And we do have two grants today. Jackie Smith, would you come up? And we have Dan Carnes. Dan, would you tell us a little bit about, CYP and why you find the organization interesting? And Jackie, would you tell us a little bit about, what you, plan to do with the money? And Dan, let me hand you this.
I'm going to read this because I probably might not do it coherently if I didn't. The Community Youth Program at St. John's is a nonprofit organization that provides year-round academic and enrichment program for 4th through 8th grade Roanoke City Public Schools students facing adversity in their everyday lives. The mission of CYP is to encourage learning, promote healthy mental and physical development, and provide a network of support for students and their families. I know a lot of the folks in here know about CYP. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful program.
Thank you guys so much for this donation. We are doing something really special with it this time around. We are going on 4 really unique field trips, places that we were able to go with the kids. So we're going to Dixie Caverns, Sequest in Lynchburg, and the Peaks of Otter, and the Virginia Safari Park. So these are gonna be some really exciting experiences for the kids. 100% of our families are below the poverty line. So experiences like this are extravagant for the families, and they could not be able to do this without your support. So thank you for letting us get the kids out of the classroom and do some hands-on learning and just have some good old fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Excuse me, Bob is representing, Faith in Action. And his sponsor is Lloyd, and Lloyd couldn't make it today, but he did send something which I'd like to read. He said, "I regret that I will not be able to attend our meeting on December 1st when the grant will be presented to a central COB for its meals program for children at Highland Elementary School. I am proud to have served as a sponsor for this program for many, many years, and I know it meets a real need for these children, and it fits within the goals and objectives of Kiwanis." And so, Bob, would you tell us and what you plan to do with the check?
I would like to take just a point of personal privilege first to say how indebted we are to Lloyd Enoch. I was supposed to go by and pick him up today so he could come to this program, and he just wasn't up to doing it. But he has been the guiding force between us at the Kiwanis Club, and we are deeply indebted to him. This is the grant, and we are so grateful for your support as well. This money will purchase fresh fruit that will go home every week with approximately 90 students at Highland Park School who are from food-deprived households. And they can't afford fresh fruit and vegetables on a regular basis. So you are helping us to give them nourishment and the packaged and fast food that they normally eat. It's a real service to the community. And I just want to point out in the agenda, it says Faith in Action. The name of the organization is Congregations in Action. It's made up of 6 downtown Roanoke churches who have, we at first adopted Highland Park because they had no PTA, but they have stepped up to the plate in the last few years, and we still support them with food every week that goes home with families, tutoring and counseling also during the school year. So thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a lot of announcements today. And if you're planning on making an announcement, if you would just sort of begin to gather up here, we're a little pushed for time and we want to go as quickly as we can. John is going to do December birthdays for us.
Thank you, President-elect Ben, and he's doing a marvelous job without a whole lot of notice. You don't realize how hard the job is until you're up here directing traffic. So kudos to you, Ben. I have the first 2 announcements, and I understood your message clearly to make them brief. The first thing I'm going to do is recognize our December birthdays, and there's 9 people, some of which are in the building, and some of which have been in the building. December 5th, as I call your name, if you're here, if you'd stand. December 5th is Jay Harlow. December 9th is Lloyd Enoch. We heard reference to Lloyd from Bob. Lloyd's going to be 86 next Thursday, so you might want to keep that in mind, a pretty significant number. December 14th, Jim Joyce. December 17th, are we right this year, Mike McAvoy? We've had the wrong birthday a couple of years, but we really need to get to know you a little better. December 17th, Mike McAvoy. December 21st, Diane DeHaven. December 23rd, Chuck Baker. December 26th, Lois James. December 28th is Judy Clark, who went to some effort to pick our song selection in honor of our speaker. So bouncing back is a segue to that. Happy birthday to Judy, who had to leave for another commitment. Please join me in applauding all our December birthdays. I considered singing happy birthday a cappella and thought better of it, but you know the intent is there. President-elect Ben is catching on. He said, thank you. And I said, I thought better of it. Okay. Next announcement. Traditionally, the Kiwanis Club thanks our supporters, the people who make our job easy, particularly our wait staff, our caterer, and our staff at the market building, Lindsay, who stepped in and done such a nice job coordinating things. I'm going to pass a tip jar. Lloyd Enoch helps us too, Bob. He created this about 12 years ago, and it does the trick. If you're so inclined, you might put some currency in or coins, and make sure it gets back to me. I'm going to start it on this side. This side over here hadn't done too well, but would like for you all to pass it around the room. And Pegram, I'll put you in charge of seeing. Pegram's very reliable, that I'll get it back. We'll receive it next week also and present it on the 15th. So if you're not prepared to stuff the tip jar, plan ahead for next week. Thanks very much.
Hey, good afternoon, Emily Bailey. I am a professional crabber. I do have crabs. Kiwanis has crabs, and we want to continue to share our crabs. If you are not aware, we do have a fundraiser for our administrative budget, and it is where we send crabs to someone of your choice. They live at their home for 2 days, and you have the option of returning them to the sender or even forwarding them to another friend. So it's something fun that we started doing, and so far we've raised $640 by sharing crabs. So if you'd like to do that, there are some forms on your table. Again, the money is going towards the administrative budget, which our goal is to build out Kiwanis so that we can build our membership through a stronger website and media presence. So please support us. If you'd like to send somebody crabs, you can reach out to me or Clark when he's feeling better, or Lois James. And the crabs are going to be on the move after our meeting today. So stay tuned for that.
Hi, Larry Kufel here. Last chance for you to join 41 of us Kiwanians and our loved ones tomorrow night at Mill Mountain Theater to see A Christmas Story. And we have the reception in the Harrison Museum on the second floor at Center in a Square. Amy Carter is providing the appetizers and the drinks. And that starts at 6 o'clock. And the show starts at 7:30. So it's tomorrow night now. So if you haven't decided whether you want to come, but you do want to come, I've put some sign up logs on the table. All of you in Zoom land, if you're interested in coming, please contact me at larry@millmountain.org and do it right away. We've got 41 of us. We'd like to get a couple more. And I've got seats available for maybe another 10 or so. All right. So the whole package, and where can you go and have a great night seeing the show and joining in with all of you Kiwanians and their loved ones to have a good time for $45. All right. See you there tomorrow. Thanks. Oh, I'll have the tickets ready on a table right outside the Harrison Museum for you to pick up tomorrow evening. Thanks.
Hey everyone, I'm Jill Sluss with Family Service of Roanoke Valley, and I put some flyers around on some of the tables here. And annually, our club takes care of holiday gifts for our 20 guardianship clients who have otherwise received who otherwise would receive no Christmas gifts during the holidays. We so appreciate everything that you guys do for us with this project every year. The deadline is going to be Friday, December 3rd. That's this Friday. We currently have 14 left. So we had a total of 20. There's just 14 left. I want to personally thank Eric Danielson, Don Witt, Larry Kufel, Joyce Montgomery, Lois James, and Donna Lynch for already taking care of some of those angels. I know a lot of you all like to do the shopping as we've done in the past, but of course, due to COVID, we are now doing that for you just at $20 per angel. And the reason we're doing that is the guardianship case managers know exactly what these folks need or want. We have a total of 80 people in this program and only 20 need gifts. So if you want to give me cash, I'll take that after the meeting today, or you can go online and you see the bit.ly link there to just donate via your credit card, via our Network for Good, our CRM. And thank you all as always. Appreciate everything.
Hi, my name is Wendy Mellentine, and I am chair of the Kiwanis Cares Committee. And John, I found out last night that Lloyd has moved to Park Oak Grove. So if you could get his new address out for those people who want to send birthday cards. My guest today is Marnie Mills. She is with Commonwealth Catholic Charities, and they are the resettlement agency for the state of Virginia for those families moving from Afghanistan. Now, you know that we had donors who allowed us to provide 42 first aid kits for these families and 20 soccer balls. But because there are Kiwanians with heart who listen to this, it motivated people to do something else. And I have not asked their permission, so I won't say their names. but one of them contacted me to say, well, I volunteer in Haiti and we can't go down there because it's very unsettled. We don't know when we will. We have another 12 soccer balls. And so we were able to get that to CCC. Then we had a woman in the club who heard that the families needed winter coats and dropped off 15 new winter coats for these families. But I want to read to you and members that said, my wife and I had an early Christmas exchange today. We gave each other the following presents for the Afghan refugees: 6 sweatshirts, 8 stocking caps, 12 pair of gloves, 9 stocking packs, 10 winter coats, 2 for women, 2 for men, 3 for boys, 3 for girls. Best Christmas presents we have had in a long time. And as a sociologist, Margaret Mead is one of my favorite people. And you all know that she said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful people could change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Thank you.
Wendy, thank you for your leadership on that really important project. Our hearts go out to the refugees, and we're pleased that you've provided leadership. Wendy Mellentine and I are both alumni of the University of Michigan, which beat Ohio State University Saturday for the first of that. Brag by. I'll pay a lot for that. I've been waiting for that for years. Now, greetings from your Kiwanis Nature Park team. Sherry Hartman and I co-chair a subcommittee of our club's Environment Committee that's dedicated to creating an outdoor classroom and recreation park along Hortons Branch Creek in northwest Roanoke, right next to our Centennial Playground. Sherry and I are asking for the help of a few outdoor-oriented Kiwanians for some hands-on work at the park this Saturday and again Monday afternoon. You don't have to be a member of the club's Environment Committee to participate. If you're interested, and we hope a lot of you will be, please come to the Melrose Library at 9 a.m. on Saturday in your field clothes to help Sherry determine and mark where black plastic sheeting will be laid down to kill the sod grass over the winter to prepare a seedbed for the planting of a pollinator garden by school children next May. They'll be raising those plants in greenhouses and in their homes and pots over the winter to plant them there next May. Then please come back to the park at 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon if you can to join with adults from the neighborhood to actually lay down the plastic and put weights on it so it stays in place. And John Ewert's offered to bring his chainsaw and buck up some of the trees lying there to serve as the weights to keep the plastic sheeting down. Thank you, John. And the adult group will be joined by a group of young people at 3:30. The work is required to meet the terms of a $50,000 grant that Sherry obtained from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. And I should mention the $10,000 that the club itself, through its community service budget, has appropriated to our nature park project. And as of yesterday, the $15,000 that Cox Communications has agreed to give us to support the project. So we're really off and running in that respect. The site is next door to the Goodwill offices and our Centennial Playground Melrose Avenue and 24th. So please put Saturday at 9 and Monday at 3 on your calendars if you can. Sherry needs your help. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lois James, and I'm here to talk to you about our West End Christmas party. It's coming up quickly, and we need your help. We have some corporate sponsors for that, but as I've mentioned to all of you so far, we also have way more children this year than we have in the past. We have 53 children to buy presents for this year. So any financial donation that you can make towards that would be greatly appreciated. We are planning on shopping on Saturday, December 11th at 7:30 at Clearbrook Walmart. Please, if you're planning to help us, be there on time because I give instructions and hand out the Christmas lists then. I can't hold any and wait for latecomers to get there because we've got a lot to get done in a short period of time. Then we are going to wrap all of our presents on Tuesday night, December 14th at Serve Pro in Salem. And if you are going to help us with wrapping, it'll probably be around the 5:30 timeframe. Please bring scissors with you. I'll have wrapping paper and tape and all that good stuff, but I don't have all the scissors. So if you're going to come, please bring scissors. And shout out to Reef Kessler, who has been organizing our key clubs, who will be coming to help us with that. So thank you, Reef. And then on Wednesday, December 15th, that is our Christmas party with the kids. So please wear fun clothes, fun Christmas clothes, and we're going to have a good time with Santa. Our good friend Sam Lionberger will be Santa again, but we do need help with elves. So getting the logistics of getting the presents up the back elevator and on the stage, I would need some help on Wednesday about 11:30. So I'll remind you again, but just sending it out there about our West End Christmas party. If you have any questions, please get in touch with me. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm J.C. Taylor here on behalf of the Kiwanis Foundation, and I'm the last. And of course, everybody started watching the watches. When I come up, I'm not going to be but a minute though. I want to just remind you of the Kiwanis Foundation, what we do, and what we need from you. First of all, there's good news, and there's bad news. The good news is there's about $50,000 available for the foundation this year. The bad news is it's still in your bank accounts. So we need you to, so I'd like for you to be a part of this year and kindly give a nice donation to the foundation because there's many, many great things the foundation do. And I have to write stuff down because I just had a birthday last week. So it tells me to start writing stuff down. Now, if you give at least $102, there's going to be a drawing at the end of this month. We have 3 famous restaurants in town who's given us nice donations, which would be a meal for 2. So if you give a minimum of $102, you will be in the drawing. So that takes care of the foundation, and I'm looking forward to that taking place. And also, as far as why I'm here, Mr. President, I had a birthday last week, and one of the things that goes on here is they have a habit of giving $1 per year when you have a birthday, and that goes to the foundation. Now everybody's waiting. I want to see how old he is. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. My donation for my birthday is going to include my foundation donation also. So it's going to make it complicated for you. So, Mr. President, I walked out of the house this morning and I put a check in my pocket. And when I got here, I couldn't find it. I don't know where it went. But John, I hope my credit's good. I'll put this in the mail to you tomorrow with a different check. But my donation to the foundation, and I want to be in the drawing, is $202. Thank you so much and have a great day.
That's pretty good.
On November the 19th, the Adult Care Center held its annual Thanksgiving luncheon, for which we, the Kiwanis, and we did it again this year. And to save time, will all those who participated in the luncheon at the Adult Care Center stand and recognized? There were a lot more than that. Thank you.
Trying to move along as quickly as we can. I wanted to remind everybody that the KPAD Zoom committee is going to convene Friday.
What's a Zoom committee?
Be involved, and if you want an invitation, if you want to just let me or John know so we can get you the Zoom link. Finally, there's a board meeting immediately following this meeting. We've got some serious business to approve the documentation required for one of our grant applications, and we've got okay. Betsy Bohannon has an announcement, and she is on Zoom. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am not going to ask you for money, but I am going to ask you to help ring the bell for Salvation Army on either December 3rd, 10th, or 17th. And you see on the screen that there's still some times that no one is there. And Ken says we want 4 people on each time. I know there's a lot going on because I know there's the Children's Theater, there's the Pop Symphony on this Friday night, but if you can spare just 1 hour, please either sign up on the table because Ken said he was putting sheets there for you where you can sign up, or you can text me here and I will send it to Ken. So we need help because if someone gets sick and there are only 2 people there, that could be a problem. So if you can help, please sign up there or send me a text if you're Zooming. And we hope to fill these spots up because Ken told me this morning that there are about 14 spots that are missing. So I know how you Kiwanians help. I know that there are lots of people who are doing other activities and churches have concerts. Sign up, please, and help us. Thank you.
Now a word from our VJ, for those of you who remember the 80s, Mike McAvoy.
Thanks, Ben. It's my pleasure today to introduce John Hull. He's Executive Director of the Roanoke Economic Development Partnership. John is a friend, and so it's exciting for me to introduce him, but you guys probably don't know this, but he's a friend to everybody in this room because John has been one of the single most important people in the Roanoke Valley, probably over the last, I guess he's been with the partnership 17 years and has literally, it's not an exaggeration, brought thousands of jobs to the Valley and investment of over $1 billion in new businesses. His agency, if y'all remember, Beth Dowdy used to run the partnership before John. John worked for Beth and John has taken over the reins there. They are the point person for economic development, point agency. When a business wants to come to the Valley, they start with John's group, and John takes care of showing them all the available sites and taking tours and really showcasing the Valley, and they do a wonderful job of that. His background, he's a graduate of Roanoke College and has advanced studies from University of Oklahoma. He's also a certified economic development planner. And again, in his spare time, he likes to go running, and I guess is involved with the Scouts. Yep. And in addition to his other duties, he's also the executive director of a regional economic development authority here in Roanoke that looks to develop new business parks and other sites for businesses to come in. And that's actually a collaboration of a number of the localities in the valley. So another thing that John works on is kind of a regional perspective. And the number of the local governments have gotten together and formed a special purpose authority for helping to finance development of new industrial sites. So again, John, it's just hard to overstate the impact John has had in improving the economy of Roanoke. And he's going to talk today a little bit about how things are going coming out of the pandemic and the economic downturn, and give you, I think, a rosy picture going forward. So, John?
Okay, sure. While Mike's working on that, I just want to thank him again for his comments, which were very, very generous. And thank you all for the opportunity to share the good news, so to speak. I appreciate it very much. We'll be sharing some updates with you on where the region's economy is and where it's headed. Truly, the news, I think, is very exciting. And we have a new strategic plan called Thrive 2027. I'll be talking about some of that today. It's a 5-year strategic plan for action as well. All right, have to advance to the next slide, please. Let's see, we'll try that again. Looks like I have to do verbal cues, guys. Okay, no worries. Okay, very great. Some very good news from the economists at Moody's in regards to gross metro product. Okay, gross metro product is the local version of GDP. It's the total of all goods and services. It's basically the size of our economy. Okay, and the news is Moody's projects Roanoke regional gross metro product. They say it's already exceeded pre-pandemic peak. Okay, so we've recovered in terms of the size of our economy, and it's on track for some of the fastest growth this region has seen in quite some time. All right, so it shows 6.1% growth this year and 3.5% the next. Those are in real inflation adjusted terms. That's the fastest growth this market has seen in 15 years. Okay, it's on pace with the nation, on pace with the state, which is really exceptional because if you look at those years there between 2014, 2018, there was some really flat growth, and there were some reasons for that. And we lost some big employers and so forth, but we have recovered and we're on track to really exceed growth over the last few years. Next slide, please. Hey, no problem. No problem. While we're waiting for that to come up, I'll just share with you the employment news. Okay, so Moody's projects Roanoke will regain employment to a pre-pandemic level. That'll be next year, probably early to mid next year, 2022, and we're going to have new peaks of growth, so to speak, in employment each year going into the future. Again, compared to previous year's performance, that's quite substantial. So Moody's is seeing good things ahead for the Roanoke region. Those are professional economists there at Moody's, and we will be in expansion mode next year in this region. Next slide. And the really excellent news to share here is that we expect accelerated population growth in the years ahead. One of the things that I reported to the spring and when I was giving talks like this is that the Weldon Cooper Center for Public Service, which operates out of the UVA, reported an increase in population growth rate for this region between 2019 and 2020. The rate of growth was 4 times the average annual rate of the previous 9 years. So from 2019 to 2020, things really started happening. And I think we can see that in the housing market. We can see it anecdotally. Things are really moving here. The really exciting things, you look at that projected line, which is the dashed line, and that rate of growth is expected to continue, okay, this year and then going into the next few years. That's important for a lot of reasons. It's not just workforce availability. It's also consumer expenditures. It's basically, there are linkages between demographics and economics. we could explain that in some detail. It would take a lot of time, but just know that population growth is important for the economy in a number of ways. Next slide, please. And then we look at housing units permitted, housing unit permits. You know, those are basically new starts, new housing starts. That's a substantial increase this year in 2020 and 2021. So the private market has responded to that population increase. This is both single family and multifamily permits. We believe, and Moody's believe, continue into the future. It looks the projection looks kind of flat, but just know that that's a substantial increase in the rate of permit, in the permitted units built per year. And for that to be flat like that still means that's quite a bit of development activity. So next slide. We've certainly seen an increase in interest at the Roanoke Regional Partnership. Companies considering the Roanoke region for expansion and investment. We had a 60% increase in terms of our projects and prospects. Projects are when we have a defined business opportunity. We often know what the investment and employment level is for that project. We know the sector. We have some idea of what they need in terms of real estate. And prospects are when they touch the ground. So in spite of the pandemic, we've had really, really high interest. A lot of that's driven by some of our real estate development work. We have some real estate in the market now that we haven't really had in the previous decade. You know, we have some sites at 100 acres that are increasingly market ready. And, you know, you look in the last couple of years, some of the largest development opportunities we had were in the 20 to 30 acre range. So we can accommodate more projects now. 100 acres is an important tipping point. Next slide, please. This year alone, we've seen 4 successful projects. We have a couple more in the pipeline that look like they'll be successful here, perhaps not by the end of this year, but early next. And those include the Cardinal Glass project. That's an expansion of an existing employer in Benton. We had Munters announce a new location in the Botetourt Park, Greenfield. That's 200 jobs and $36 million investment. We had an expansion of Balcom up in Allegheny County. They make, by the way, Cardinal Glass, they make window glass. Munters makes data center cooling equipment. Balcom produces an animal nutrition product. It's a component within feed and so forth for animals. It's quite a technical operation. And then lastly, A. Dewey Pyle is a new 3PL provider out of the Northeast. It's making entry into the Virginia market. All together, that's 290 jobs and $53 million in capital investment. Next slide, please. So this year's contribution of the activities of the Roanoke Regional Partnership amount to $125 million. And so I'll just break down what that number means. That represents the economic contribution of our projects that we announced at full build out and operation. And also represents the impacts of our outdoor event programming, which I'll talk about in a little more detail coming up. But this equates to 525 jobs for the regional economy. That's, you know, obviously contributing to the accelerated growth trajectory and so forth that we saw in the previous slides. The Thrive 2027 plan is our new strategic platform for action. We developed that plan with Ernst & Young this year, national economic development consulting firm, and with our public and private leadership, our investors and our government supporters that we serve. We serve 8 counties and cities in the Roanoke Valley and just beyond, the Allegheny Highlands and the Roanoke Valley. Basically a 220 corridor from Covington down through Franklin County. That's our service area. But we did develop this plan, and we're moving forward on a number of strategic initiatives identified in that plan. We'll go through some of that here shortly. Next slide, please. One of the major themes is that of regional collaboration. And so I just want to report and share that we're working with our partners throughout the Roanoke region and working more efficiently. So Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, our tourism agency, we have a new working relationship with them, working on some messaging collaborating on some event support as well. Landon Howard and his group is a great group, and I really enjoy working with them. We have a new initiative with the Western Virginia Workforce Development Board joint strategy. You know, we work at the partnership to attract new talent, and we want to work with the development board on developing talent within this region, training, education, aligning those with the needs of industry. So we have some great plans to work together with them. We supported a recent grant application from the folks at Verge who work on innovation, and we have some great work in the realm of Go Virginia that has supported some resiliency work that we've done around economic resiliency, existing business work. Next slide, please. In the business investment space, we have been on the road quite a bit over the fall and winter, and we have a robust schedule moving ahead. So the consultant marketing, our gatekeepers will reach out. We get a lot of projects through site selection consultants and real estate brokers throughout the country who have requirements or are working with companies to cite new investment. We've been active and on the road interacting with those folks, and it's been great. It's been great. It's contributed to some of our increased lead activity as well. Next slide, please. I'm excited to announce we're working with our partners at Carilion and Virginia Tech, Carilion School of Medicine, as well as the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute on a ad and marketing campaign around the innovation corridor. We have an integrated strategy involving some advertising, some outreach to the medical design and life sciences sector. And we have a webinar coming up that I'm excited to announce. Next slide, please. In fact, we have a full-page ad coming out in Area Development Magazine. The publication's focused on, again, site selection consultants and those in the development space to share the news on the innovation efforts in Roanoke around on Jefferson Street and just beyond. We're going to make that regionally relevant. We're hoping to attract some interest from life science manufacturers, those in the medical manufacturing space. Telling the story of the innovation effort in a way that hasn't been done so that folks outside the market know that we have the sophistication. That's going to include a webinar opportunity that we're doing with Michael Friedland, Dr. Friedlander, and Don Halliwell of Carilion. And we're going to do that webinar targeted to development folks around the country to let them know of the fine work that's happening here. Also, in regards to marketing, we're updating our website, integrating new site and building information, a new approach to presenting information on the real estate opportunities, as well as the attributes that make our region attractive for industry. And that includes our abundant supply of high quality water, our excellent sewer wastewater system. We have workforce attributes, a concentration of higher education institutions, as well as what we call a mountain and metro mix, a great mix of lifestyle and livability. And that livability really does matter, not just for talent attraction, but attraction, because businesses are looking to locate, they want to know that they can recruit to a place. So next slide, please. And we're revamping our email marketing tools, reaching out with development consultants and direct industry sectors with some development insights. Next slide. Talent attraction is the subject that many folks are interested in. We have some new talent strategies. We brought on a new director to help attract talent. It's important to remember that this Roanoke region, it grows entirely through in-migration. Okay, that's driven by some demographics. And so if this region is to grow demographically, we have to bring in migrants from across the country and beyond. Okay, and data shows, of course, as we just said, the region is growing faster than ever before, and that means the Roanoke region is a magnet for new residents. Our strategies are aimed at accelerating that rate of growth even further, so we can support the needs of employers. Because if you've had any conversations with those in business lately, just about everyone tells you it's difficult to find workers. So this talent attraction effort is aimed at high skilled and younger workers. Next slide, please. We did bring back the Home for the Holidays campaign, and we freshened it for 2021. This is an Addy Award winner. It's aimed at to show adult children, friends, and relatives and others that you have visiting for the holidays some of the opportunities in arts and culture, as well as restaurant, craft cocktail, craft breweries in the Roanoke region. We did the Thanksgiving edition there right before the holiday at a great fanfare. We had a number of businesses express interest in being represented in the Christmas edition. We will have a December edition due out here in a couple weeks, so that you can share that with your with those who may be visiting you, if you want to get them out of the house. Next slide, please. Boomerangs. This may be a term you're not familiar with. The Roanoke Times ran a story on boomerangs. And basically a boomerang is someone who grew up or studied here and is coming back, okay, for professional opportunities or to live in the Roanoke region, okay? We believe that's a key opportunity. You know, they grew up, they studied here, they have an affinity and nostalgia for this region, they have a connection. It's a key talent attraction opportunity. So we're going to branch out with a number of new boomerang strategies throughout the next year. We're going to work with alumni networks and utilize social media to get our message out. This audience needs to know how the region's developed and changed, what opportunities lie here for employment. And so these are some of the things we'll be working on in the year ahead to intensify the opportunity. Next slide, please. One of the things in the Thrive Plan is establishment of a talent ambassador network. We believe there's as many stories and reasons for moving to Roanoke as there are as people who have moved here, right? So if we can tell some of those stories using a diverse young background of professionals, we think that it'll be a very effective approach digitally on the website and so forth. And so if you have a young professional, if you know of a young professional that has made the decision to move to Roanoke, we want to talk with them. We want to get their story and their background so we can tell that story. Next slide. And we're going to produce materials for employers to recruit professionals. We're going to have an employer toolkit that will include marketing pages. They're customizable for the industry sector, for the client. You know, if you're working to recruit someone, you know that they love running, you know they like food, you know what their interests are specifically. There'll be resources in this toolkit you can use, tear-off sheets, to bring those folks in and hopefully get them to visit. So, next slide. And we have a number of talent strategies all around content development, working with our higher education institutions, new committees, events, out-of-market engagement, and so forth. We'll be very busy in the year ahead working on the talent front. Next slide, please. If you didn't know, we are the resource for data and information. If you need to know what the trends are in economics, demographics, and whatnot, we have a full-time research professional now for the first time since 2018. I say that because when I was research guy until last year, I had other duties. I was also developing real estate. So now we have someone that's fully dedicated to it. So if you have a question, we probably have the answer. We are the resource for data and information in the region. Next slide. Excited to report progress on our real estate initiatives, the Woodhaven Technology Park, I think Mike alluded to. If you go north on 81, right before you take the 581 exit, you may wonder what the heck is going on. We've taken 30 acres of trees down and graded a pad site out there. It's about speed to market. You know, if you can't demonstrate a speed to market for a company, then you're not competitive. And so we have a site there that you can build 1 million square feet contiguous and have it under development. You can be going vertical within 6 months. And that's really a marketable asset. It's unique, I think, on the 81 corridor in terms of its visibility. We're working with the local governments. We helped them put in about 5 applications to the state recently for additional site development money. So we want to take this success and replicate it throughout the region so we have an inventory to sell. Next slide. On the outdoor front, we have a number of signature events. Many folks may not realize that the Roanoke Regional Partnership is actually host to the Roanoke Outside program, which is very, very well known. Most of you, I'm sure, if you didn't personally enjoy Go Fest, you may have family that did. And the Blue Ridge Marathon is one of our first events that we did to raise the profile of this region And I'm happy to report that half the field of runners is actually, coming from out of town and experiencing oftentimes Roanoke for the first time. Pete Eshelman in our office, along with Julia Boas and Kate Bedigo, have worked tirelessly to build a meaningful brand around the outdoors. Livability supports economic development. And so the Blue Ridge Marathon is America's toughest road race. Next slide. Go Cross is an event hosting some of the best cyclocross athletes around the world. Next slide, please. And Go Fest, our signature outdoor event that has become a magnet for visitation, a magnet for brands, and an introduction to the outdoors for many throughout the region. So we're looking to return these events to something approximating a new normal in 2022. We continue to adapt to changes and guidance, and we're looking forward to providing safe events in the year ahead, much as we did in 2021. Go Fest was downtown this year. That was a significant change in a lot of ways, driven by changes in the outdoor industry. So we're continuing to monitor those changes and seeing what we'll be doing in 2022 exactly. But Go Fest will come back. Location to be determined. Next slide. An annual impact of $2.5 million. That breaks down like so. That's $1.6 million for the marathon, $500,000 for Go Cross Fest. And we're only counting new money to the region. Those are funds brought in from outside the region. Resident spending, we're not counting. That's why Go Fest is a little bit lower. If you do count the local spending, we think the Go Fest impact based on surveys we did is around 1.6 million. Okay, and that's important to note because we brought that downtown. There was a lot of spending with the downtown merchants that wouldn't have happened. And they were obviously very impacted by the COVID pandemic. So it was a great thing to do. $1.6 million into our downtown. Next slide. We are working on a number of initiatives. Not only we're marketing the outdoors, we're building the outdoors actively. So this is a Morningside bike park you see here. We got a grant from Virginia Outdoors Foundation. Don't worry, folks, I'll be wrapping up shortly. We're working on 2 American Rescue Plan Act grants as well to build out some trails. And I'm happy to report with Go Fest, the proceeds from Go Fest are reinvested into building the outdoors. We founded Project Outside last year. We invested $100,000 in a number of improvements around the region in the outdoors this year. We think our profits are around $50,000. We made available for grants by the end of the year for outdoor infrastructure development. So that'll be exciting to see. $50,000 goes a long way, I think, in some of these assets. So not only are we telling the story, we're making the story better. Next slide. So that's it. Sorry to use up all the time. I was hoping to do some Q&A, but if I have an opportunity to take some questions, certainly I'd be happy to, or you can contact me afterwards. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. It is our custom to provide an honorarium to our speakers, and you've chosen the Boy Scouts. Very good. Check. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Reminder of board meeting immediately following this one. Is there anything else for the good of the cause? Then we are adjourned.
Well done.